Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about the official trailer that came out for The Matrix Resurrections. If you haven't seen it already, I'll include a link to it in the description down below. But obviously just wanted to, take this video as an opportunity to kind of just share my thoughts about it. I think it's so interesting how the trailer is structured, and maybe this is just me, but I do like that there's almost like, yes, you have all like the Matrix stuff even at the beginning, but it is somewhat grounded. Like, you almost wouldn't feel like it is necessarily a Matrix movie with that first chunk that you see, but maybe that's also because, like, when I think of the Matrix, I'm thinking about typically like the back half of the first Matrix movie and then like all the wild and craziness that is the second and third movie. So maybe that's what it is. I do kind of like let it slip my mind of where the Matrix started at the beginning with Neo's journey. So there's that aspect, but I think that's why it kind of throws me for a whirl, because I've not been in that world, that mindset of the Matrix for a while, because I've seen bits and pieces of the movies again over the years, but I have not sat down and watched all three Matrix movies all the way through in years. I've probably seen them all like once all the way through. I think the last like time I had any relation to anything Matrix-wise was when I played the Matrix Path of Neo on the PlayStation 2. That was probably like that was the last time. Once again, that's been years in that regard, but like I said, I just haven't been in that mindset, so it's just crazy to kind of go for like the first half of the trailer being what it is. Very like, I don't know what word to describe it. Surrealist? I'm sure that's not the real word to describe it, but it's hard to pinpoint like the exact wording I want to use to like the craziness that is the back half of the trailer. And I think it's so, me, like most people, are so curious like what they're gonna do after like how things played out in the final Matrix, in Matrix 3, because it's like, I know Trinity and Neo died, but beyond that, and once again, I have to go back because I don't remember a lot. I just remember that ending in certain regards, but that's about it. Like, I'd still have to go back and refresh my brain on a lot of the movies. But so I'm curious what this is, because we do see Neo run into Trinity, and she's like, wait, do we know each other? It's almost like this deja vu, because I'm gonna make an example of something that if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, it won't mean anything. I'll still try to explain it, but it almost reminds me of Once Upon a Time, the TV show. So if you're unaware, like basically these characters get put under a curse. They're all living in the same town. Time doesn't pass for them, but it's a thing of like, right, we know each other, but basically this curse keeps us separated by some manner. Like, I'm curious if that's what's happening in Neo and Trinity's case of like, we know each other, but like it's designed to keep us separated, because by keeping us separated, like we're in each other's orbit, near each other yet so far away type of situation. It's the ultimate middle finger, it's the ultimate taunt to them in a way of, but it's like, it almost feels like deja vu, but slowly like the cracks start happening, because we see it at points where like maybe it's because he finally took the red pill, because Neo's been taking the blue pills the entire time, once again just kind of being pulled under. But now it's like, maybe once he starts taking the red pill, the world starts shifting, because it seems like there are signs. The black cat, the birds they're doing in the sky, like the dreams that he's been having of like, yeah, just something's not right, and he's wondering if he's just going crazy or not. And so I'm wondering, is it kind of meant to be like the system obviously has pulled him back in? It's like, maybe he didn't fully die, maybe he was on the verge of death and they brought him back. Because part of me is wondering, like, are we going to find out like Neo's real but Trinity isn't? That's why I was wondering, like, is it like because there was that line being like, I know that what you love most is still here, that's why you will never stop fighting, and that being Trinity. But part of me is wondering, like, is that Trinity even real? I mean, is this Neo even real? That's what I was wondering, like, is it really more him and this is just kind of like a after image of Trinity, or is it actually Trinity? I don't know. Like, if he were to leave, like, is this all that remains of her, and maybe it's meant to keep him in this world? Like, if he ever breaks free again, it's like we're holding hostage to the last things that are Trinity. Like, outside of this, you leave, you shut this down, she's gone forever, you'll never have her again. So maybe it's meant to be a thing of like, do you give up what you love most in this world? But he's always been able to do stuff outside of the Matrix, so maybe his powers and everything might be the means of kind of being able to bring her out. Once again, I'm throwing stuff to the wall like I always do with these type of videos. I'm not trying to say what I'm saying is right. I'm just throwing out theories. That's just kind of like the fun thing about this. It's that world bendiness that's always so dope about these movies, and obviously we deal with that. Like, we definitely get our taste of it in this, and I almost feel like Neo's doing even more than what he was doing before. I mean, granted, like, when you remember what Neo was capable of, like obviously like he could do it like crazy stuff in the Matrix, like everyone could do some stuff. He could do a lot more than other people could, but even then he could actually translate some of that, not all of it, but a little bit of what he could do outside of the Matrix as well. You know, even like Abdul Mateen II, what his role is, because I remember like rumors being like, oh, he's a young Morpheus, or oh, he's Morpheus's son, but like during that training section, he's like, you know, it's like Neo's like, you don't know me. And he's like, no. And I don't know whether he was saying that no one's in a sense of, right, like, you're right, no, I don't know you, I only know the legend of who you are. So that's why I'm like, is he playing like a young Morpheus, or is he playing like maybe a young Morpheus in a sense of like, I don't know you, but I know some version of me knows you, or maybe he's, you know, Morpheus' son, and it's like, my dad knew you, maybe in that regard, maybe he's keeping his identity secret. Because he is, like, when you look at him in a trailer, like, he is playing that Morpheus role, like, Morpheus is the one that pulled Neo out of the Matrix and made him realize what was going on, but then at the same time, like maybe he like I said, if it is his son, like that's what I'm saying, like is that no meant to be like a no, like question mark, like I don't know who you are, I know everything there is to know about you, Neo. Like I'm curious, like I'm sure the information's out there, like, oh, Abdul Mateen II is playing this, I don't want to know, like I said, I'm just guessing based on what I've heard. Like at that time, all those things were rumors. Maybe some of that has been confirmed. I don't want to know. Like I said, I'm just throwing out there, you know, just to have fun with and theorize about everything. But I am curious, like, who is that character that's kind of playing that role? Like, she's almost playing that Trinity role, too, of being like, oh, yeah, here's this, like, white rabbit tattoo. There's, like, obviously the imagery, once again, of, like, Alice in Wonderland. How deep down the rabbit hole you're going to go. And so, who is she being like, I'm going to show you what's going on? Obviously, we see the return of, like, the agents. Obviously, there's going to be probably no Agent Smith. I mean, not unless that ends up being something that ends up popping up, but it seems like different agents. If there's an Agent Smith, again, they haven't shown it. Like, I'm curious, is there someone else that's risen to the Agent Smith role, or is it like, no, we're never going to let there be another Agent Smith. We can't let there be another Agent Smith because he went wild and kind of did his own thing. Once again, to my recollection, in the sense that, like, he kind of spawned off and became something else because of Neo. Like, they're kind of like mirror images to each other. So, which, if I remember correctly, like, at the final movie, like, he turned Neo into him, but then in that moment, like, Neo ended up killing all of them, himself included, in the process. So, once again, I had to go back and rewatch the movies because it's been so long. And so, I could be, like, full of crap right now. I could be like, someone could be like, you're screaming, you're so stupid, you're wrong. I'll admit it, I'm fine with being wrong because I don't remember the movies that well. Only certain aspects here and there. I mean, in totality, I just think, just from what we saw just in the trailer, I was like, oh, the movie looks, like, stunning. Because of the nature of everything, I am curious, like, what direction they are taking this movie. Like, is it going to be kind of a soft reboot? It is a sequel, but are they going to give it kind of almost like that soft reboot type of vibe and feel? Like, obviously, I made the comparison to, like, Once Upon a Time, like how Once Upon a Time did, like, a softer reboot in its 7th season. If you've seen the show, well, technically the end of its 6th season, but if you've seen the show, at least all the way through, you kind of got some idea of what I'm talking about. Like, is it supposed to also be like, this is Neo and Trinity's story while also setting up the next generation? Like, the trailer kind of puts them the forefront and center, but are they going to be like the main characters this time around? Will they kind of be setting the stage for the next generation in this war? Like, because I'm also curious too, like, how much time has passed? Like, is it going to be like the real world amount of time, like, in between movies? Because, like, the third Matrix movie came out like 2003, 2004, so has it been the past, what, 18 years in the Matrix as well? Or are they going to make it like, oh, it's been like 50 years and you guys have been stuck inside the system, like, reliving everything over and over again without even realizing? Like, you know, you never fully know, like, how long you've been under the Matrix. You know, what characters will we get introduced to? Like, will there be any other surprises from the original trilogy coming back in some shape or form? Some reappearances, once again, like, because I don't 100% remember everyone who lived and died in the original trilogy. So I'm curious to see where things kind of play out on that front. We do see some shots, obviously, outside of the Matrix, with everyone being, like, hooked up to the pods and stuff like that. I'm wondering, like, how much has kind of changed on that front. Also, like, how much has changed within the Matrix. Because, you know, it's like the conversation about, you know, it's like, oh, back to the start where it all started, you know, with the Matrix. And it's like, I'm curious what that all means in the grand scheme of things. Like, a lot of that's out of context, so we won't know until we actually see the movie. But I'm actually really excited. I think this is I know a lot of people did not like the second and third movie. I did. You know, and it isn't, don't turn into some like defense of like the second or third movie. It's just like, you like them, you like them. If you didn't, you didn't. It's fine. But I'm really curious, like, is there going to go, is any of that going to be put into this? And that, like I said, that soft reboot to a way, like, not like you're discounting those movies, but maybe you're reworking some of the ideas and changing them a little bit for this movie? Or is it 100% just built off the backbone of 2 and 3, even though, like, people might not, as the years are going on, people have definitely made it, like, obviously the original one people love and adore it. It's like, it's amazing. 2 and 3, there's not that same love and admiration for it like it is the first one. But I mean, you are getting at least Lana Wachowski back for this, so I'm curious to see, you know, having, you know, worked on projects like Sense8, like how much of what we've kind of dealt with in that is going to translate over into this movie as well. So I'm curious. These, like I said, these are just some of the things running through my mind. I'd love to get to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like, what are some, you know, things that you want to see from this movie? What are some things you expect to see? Let me know. I'm really curious. But really, that's all I want to talk about. So the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live light to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and good